And we're back. Welcome to the Constitution Line by Line. I'm Paul Fabrizio.
And I'm Don Frazier.
And we're going through now about coins. Okay?
We're doing a lot of talking about money and economics.
We are. I am really surprised. I'm so out of my element here. Political science, politics I can handle, economics. Run away, run away.
Interesting.
All right. So, Article 1. Section 8 of the Constitution, we're talking about the enumerated powers, and we're on Clause 6.
6.
There you go. What is he going to do when we get to 13? All right.
Take my shoe off.
No, he won't. We're talking about Congress shall have the power, here we go, to provide for the punishment of counterfeiting the securities and current coin of the United States.
All right, that makes sense.
Yes.
Have you ever heard that story about how come our coins have ridges around the outside?
No.
The old saw is that one of the ways that you would stretch your money is you would file the edges of your coin and make them smaller but still round, and all that powder you then remelt into another coin. Yes.
Oh.
Now, I've heard that as being the reason that there's ridges around the quarter, but that makes absolutely no sense since it's now a sandwich with just a veneer of precious metals filled with junk metal. So I think it actually has to do with what a coin feels like in your pocket.
Oh, okay. I don't have any coins with me today.
Nah, I don't carry coins. They're just something
Does
to gum up
anybody
the
here-
dryer.
Anybody here carry any coins? Nope. Look at that.
Yeah, look at
What a telling thing. There's 4 people here in the studio.
And, well, they're college kids, so they're mostly broke.
Okay, and we're college professors, so we're mostly
Yeah,
broke
so
too.
we're mostly broke,
Okay.
too.
It all works.
Well, and, I'm just tired of hearing them rattle around inside the dryer. So.
Okay, we're going to pull out some coins. Thank you so much. It's a quarter.
Something now.
Do you have anything else? Do you have a nickel, dime?
There's a penny.
A penny.
That's different than a dime.
Yeah, and there's a dime. Don't worry, we'll get all these back to you.
I'm not. Maybe I am
Thank you
pro
so
pirate.
much.
Thanks, Bethany.
Yes, Bethany, of course, is. Are you the director of this?
Well, she's certainly our production assistant.
Our executive
You're about
producer?
to make a point about this coin, though.
No, I was just curious. Which one has ridges on it? And
That's a quarter. That's
the
a
quarter
dime.
does, and the dime does too.
And the dime's close to a penny. Penny smooth.
Penny is smooth.
Quarter's close to a nickel. Nickel smooth.
Okay, very good.
And then you have a $50, and it's
So you're saying the United States government actually figured this out? Politicians passed laws to make this happen like this?
I'm sure somebody did. Yeah.
Wow, so clever.
Yeah.
But the problem is, did we know about this before?
And I'm not
Did
sure.
you know about the
I'm not sure
ridges?
which of these stories.
See,
even-
the 4 of us here, you were the only one who knew anything about it, which tells you something about
I probably
the
read it.
marketing department.
Yeah, or
of
I
the
read
US
it on
government.
Facebook or something. All right, so the idea of counterfeiting is actually an old one that has plagued humankind since the invention and recognition of economies.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you keep that from happening? But that means that if you're counterfeiting currency, this is not a state crime alone. This is now a federal crime.
Yes.
And
First, states aren't allowed to coin money.
Correct.
So,
They used to.
yes, they used to
So when did that end?
with the Constitution.
No. There are states that there's
I know,
Wildcat.
I know. It's Wildcat. At some point, the federal government said we're the only ones who are doing
Yeah,
it. When
okay.
that point is, I don't know.
I think it's
But
in the
they
early
s-
1800s.
They stopped the states from doing their own.
I was
work.
looking at a 25-cent note issued by the city of Donaldsonville, Louisiana. So even, stores and municipalities used to have their own currency, but that wasn't striking coins.
You're right.
All right, so counterfeiting's a tale as old as time, as they would say. And how do you avoid that is the issue, because counterfeiting erodes confidence.
Correct.
So one of the things that our enemies abroad love to do is counterfeit American currency.
Yes.
One of the things that American soldiers rustling through all the belongings of the late Saddam Hussein discovered was piles and piles and bricks of Benjis, lots of $100 bills in great big crates. North Korea is notorious for counterfeiting U.S. currency. And so being secure in your currency is a major deal.
Yes, it's incredibly important.
And the framers put it into the Constitution.
Right, and who today has that job? It's actually the Secret Service.
Yeah, that's right.
They have two jobs, and that's protect some government officials and protect our security, our currency.
Yeah.
I mean, so that tells you something about how important it is. It's part of the Department of Homeland Security, as is appropriate, because the security of our money, the safety, the confidence we have in our money, therefore is key to the survival of the Republic.
Correct, because if you flood the nation with counterfeit currency, all of a sudden that confidence that we rely on so much, all the way back to the earlier clauses we've discussed, pops.
Yeah. Now, I understand over time, and this may be also something I read on Facebook, that the money that was most counterfeited, the dollar bills that were most counterfeited, have migrated from smaller bills like
20s,
fives to 20s to now 100s.
Yeah, 100's the most counterfeited bill now.
So simply, is that because of inflation, or it's the ease of carry? I don't know.
Yeah, it's the basic maneuver element of economic exchange. And I think some of that's wrapped up with foreign adventures that we've had overseas and people that wish to do us no good, but also has to do with narcotics trade and things like that. So that's how come your currency has the magnetic stripe. It has the little threads in it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got also, you going to pull out a Benji?
I'm going to pull out a $20 bill.
Okay. Not a Benji.
You like it?
I do.
There he is, Andrew Jackson. And Andy.
And it's got the watermark on it, and it's got all sorts of other little fine print in here. But it also says this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private.
Right. When I read the Constitution, I always go back to that line on the bill.
Because it's all about confidence. And you can have confidence that this $20 is actually $20.
Right. And, when you go and you spend it, often the clerk will sit there and they'll take those magic pens that they have and write a mark on it, and that'll tell them whether it's authentic or not.
Yeah.
So, in other words, they don't have confidence until they're confirmed that it is.
You're doing this in Abilene, too.
Right, Abilene, Texas.
Abilene has a long history in the counterfeit business.
It does?
The first town marshal of this town was wrapped up in a counterfeiting scheme with some people up in New York City. And they were buying counterfeit currency at a ratio of 1 to 10. I'll give you $1, you give me $10 fake. And the deal went wrong, and somebody got shot, and the city marshal of Abilene ended up being put on trial.
You're kidding.
No. Tom Hill. Yeah, that's part of our city's illustrious history.
That nobody talks about.
That has to do with a counterfeiting scheme. Now then, the reason that they're running that magic pen over your $20 bill here locally, have you ever floated counterfeit money and not realized it?
How do I know?
Well, because they mark it with a pen and say, this isn't real.
Oh, no, I've never had that situation. Have you?
I have not, but a friend of mine did. It was at the Dixie Pig, of all things.
Oh, the local traditional classic restaurant.
Yeah, it's a classic diner, started in 1943 to support the troops that were training here during World War II, but it's a cash-only business.
Right.
So you have to go to the ATM, you have to go wherever you go to get your cash to buy your lunch. And they ran the magic pen, and it was a fake 20. And from time to time, these fake 20s float around in Abilene.
Wow.
So it's still a deal. It's still a thing, as they say.
Well, I got this from the ATM machine at my bank today, so I hope it's legitimate.
It looks like it's the real deal.
It says on the back 13878. Someone had written that on the money. So I don't know what that means.
I've got no idea. I don't even want to speculate.
All right. There we go.
So now we know that the United States Congress takes counterfeiting very
seriously. Thank God.
That's part of the enumerated powers. So that's our line?
That's our line.
All right. We'll pick up the next enumerated power in the next episode.